It's the first night of the knockout round of the NBA Cup, and we got two really fun games tonight, highlighted by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropping 39 points on the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to talk about it all and more, but first, we'll play that intro.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central. We got Kev, Stevo, myself, Haize in the building tonight to talk about this knockout round. Fellas, this was a fun set of games, man. We're going to start off with the last game on the night, though. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander drops 39 points as the OKC Thunder down the Dallas Mavericks in this game. The defense was on display in this game. The Dallas Mavericks just could not really get into a rhythm offensively in the second half of this game. They came out, they scored 19 points in the third quarter, whereas the OKC Thunder scored 33 points. Now, they do wake up in the fourth quarter of this game. They scored 31 points, but for the majority of that, I mean, they got it close there. But the OKC Thunder were playing with rhythm at that point, offensively and defensively. They end up pulling out this win. How did you guys feel about this game?
Yeah, I feel like Oklahoma City. Well, first of all, in all four of these teams tonight was playing like it was some money on the line. I'm not sure when the last time y'all been up to the park or to see a pickup game, but the guys play different when there's money on the line. That's just how it is. There's a lot of energy from all four teams tonight, but in terms of this game, the Oklahoma City Thunder did something that they haven't really been doing well all season. That's hitting the three ball. They hit 20 out of 50 threes tonight, and every single time it looked like the Dallas Mavericks was going to make a run and get back into it, they hit another three, whether it was at the buzzer or from the top of the key or from the side. And they got a lot of offensive rebounds when it really, really mattered to run the clock out toward the end of the game. And, of course, they were led by their leader, SGA. What else could you ask for a game like this, man? This in-season tournament this season is looking a lot more entertaining than it did last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was entertaining last season as well at times, but it wasn't as consistently entertaining like it's been so far this season. Steve, how you feeling? Can't hear you.
I just think tonight we could put to rest all those people that's still saying, like, I don't know if Thunder is really that team. Like, at the end of the day, with their injuries aside, I think the final thing we was worried about when it came to this team was rebounding. And then they came out and did it against a team that clearly has the height advantage over them. So for all these people to come to win, it also says for this team that this franchise really just built a well-structured team. Like everybody knows they role. They play unselfish basketball. Even the best defenders not on there are bought in. They play very good team defense as well as they have some lockdown players on that team as well. And like you said, you have SGA not only giving you what he gave you with 39, almost 40 points, but efficient 15 for 23 and give you 5 from 9 for 3. Like, that's just what you pay a super max type of player, MVP type of player. To that's the type of things you expect from him, and that's the things you get out of him. So that was just my first reaction from this game.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that we haven't seen OKC whole at any point this season yet, it says a lot, and for how good they look already, 19-5 on the season. But Isaiah Hardenstein so far, he's averaging 12 and 13, I think, for this OKC Thunder team so far this season. And he's just playing like a dog, man. And can't wait to see him and Chet out there together. But Alex Caruso, former Bull, had a good defensive night, especially down the stretch, had some alley-oops there. But the thing with the Thunder that make them such a dangerous team is the duality between them, the dual nature. They can be they can kill it offensively any given night. They can switch it and ratchet it up defensively. 14 steals by the Thunder today. How do you guys feel about the Thunder's defense? And when you look at this team as a championship contender, is it because more of the offense or is it because more of the defense is somewhere between there? Is Kev sleep? I can't hear you. You muted again.
I think Kev froze. I could see like his eyes cracked to the side. So I think it's froze. But yeah, I think it's a balance of both. It's really a balance of both. Like in this league, we know like you're not going to the big game or getting close to the big game if you're not putting up a significant amount of points. and you're not going to be able to win the big game if you're not able to defend, because just like you, somebody going to be able to put up numbers just like you. So with that being said, to me, it's not even just the balance of the deep. Like I just said, it's the fact that everything fits together so well, and
Yeah.
we're seeing players step up in roles that they're not even going to be asked to be in once everybody is back healthy. So once they back in the playoffs, everybody's back healthy. They done been in the games, they done got the reps, they done got the experience. Now that's the time when you win that third round, them second rounds, your stars get tired. That's when you can lean on those players that's playing right now, and you won't feel no that much pressure. You won't feel so iffy about it when it's time to do that.
I'm not sure if you guys mentioned it, but nobody on Dallas scored 20 points tonight.
Yeah.
Lou Dort had Luka Doncic out there looking real regular. Like looking
Scrap.
super extra regular, bro. They needed a game from Klay Thompson just to be in it in the fourth quarter. Klay Thompson hit 5 out of his 10 threes. Kyrie wasn't looking like his normal self. And honestly, defensively, that's a big thing for Oklahoma City, the Thunder, bro. Because they're not going to shoot the three the way they shot tonight. It's just not their identity,
Yeah.
at least so far this season. But defensively, that's their identity. These guys go out there and play defense 90 feet. It's great to see, man.
Yeah, the way they're able to that's kind of what we were talking about. The way they're able to ratchet up defensively is just huge in this game. Now you mentioned now they had Luka looking regular today, but Kyrie right along with him today. 7 of 14 from the field, 17 points, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. But it just this what the OKC Thunder did so well today is never letting Dallas get in the rhythm. Anytime it looked like they were going to start being able to go on a little bit of run, OKC Thunder made a big play defensively to get them out of this game. And I think this is why when you hear some doubts around Dallas and their ability to maybe win a title, it's things like this. Because let me be clear here too. There's not that many teams that can throw as many defensive looks out on the perimeter as what the OKC Thunder can do. So it's a very small amount of teams that can do this type of thing to them. But I tell you what, if you are looking at this and saying if it's going to come down to the OKC Thunder or Dallas Mavericks, like and again, this is all without Chet too. It's crazy.
Well, what they did was they were sending 2 bodies at the top,
Yeah.
so that they had to get rid of the ball, and then they trapped the corner too. At that, so
And Luke constantly followed him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like Deb the real Reeves. Every time I see him, he was on his hip.
Yeah. And Lou Dort also made up for it on the offensive end too himself, hitting some big threes. All 3 of the threes he hit tonight was momentum shifting threes, or momentum stopping threes in terms of Dallas trying to come back.
Yep.
You just gotta love it, man. It's the type of stuff that you like to see from a championship contending team, and OKC is one of the favorites for a reason.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a
And they
fact.
good for basketball as a whole. I feel like this is a team that I enjoy watching. Like this is a team that represents basketball in the purest form.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think also like it shows the importance of building a team well from top to bottom, drafting well. I know SGA wasn't a draft pick by them, but they still traded for him early in his career. But like they've drafted well and intelligently over time. Even players that they move, like Josh Giddey, they get a player back like Alex Caruso on a reasonable contract. Like they just operate smart. They don't throw a lot of money at a bunch of things to try to answer problems. They just continue making smart moves that complement their star players. And so, like bringing in on the same offseason, Caruso and Hartenstein, like that's going to be huge for them when the playoffs come around. So OKC Thunder just have done it smart. They've done it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we was all sitting here wondering what they was doing, getting all these draft picks together, and they did it the right way. So, like, there's, I feel like there's a way to do it. Like, there's the 76er way who kind of did it that way, and it didn't turn out well. And it was the Sam way up in OKC. He did it the right way. He traded for his super potential superstar before people realized that he had that talent, and he built everybody around him the correct way.
Yeah, and I think the thing with the Thunder too that we got to like they didn't do it by trying to lose. Like it's different. Like yeah, they both obtained a lot of picks. They traded stars or whatever. Like, but the 76ers got all those draft picks by actively trying to make their team worse. The Thunder made smart trades, and after that point, they just developed guys. They focused on playing basketball the right way, and now these guys have this winning mentality because they've gone through the ups and downs, and it's been great to watch.
Bringing in the right people, like the coaches, like Chris Paul, like getting rid of the coaches, Billy Donovan when it was time. Like they just know they did the right things at the right time. So and they paying dividends. Like it is what it is.
That's a fact.
Wish we could do
it. Now let's switch to the other game, the early game today. The Milwaukee Bucks defeat the Orlando Magic 114-109, and despite missing Paolo and Franz Wagner in this game, this was still a fun game for the majority of this game down the stretch, man. You look at just the way that the Orlando Magic play defense, and somebody always steps up. Jalen Suggs tried his best to will this team to a win here, man. But Anthony Black stepped up with 17 points as well, coming off the bench. Mo Wagner with 13 points. Like this, they try to do it as a team. But you look at the Milwaukee Bucks: 37 points from Giannis, 28 points from Dame Lillard. Bobby Portis with 22 points as well off the bench. Those are the majority of the scoring came from those three players. There was no other player in double digits for this Milwaukee Bucks team, but they still get this. Win here. How you guys feeling?
First of all, kudos to the Orlando Magic. They've done pretty much everything that we wanted our Chicago Bulls to do, and it's with players that the Chicago Bulls could have drafted, with the exception of a couple. Because with that Vucevic trade, that Vucevic trade is still paying dividends to Orlando, which is crazy. Yeah. So, but shout out to them, man. It's a testament to their coach. They play no excuses basketball. Next man up. They go out there and they play a strong brand of defense. They play the passing lanes. They're gonna put their hand in the cookie jar when they need to. If you put that ball down low and you ain't got it up high enough, you're gonna smack it down. They're gonna strip it. And we already know, we talked about it at the beginning of the season. We already know that Jalen Suggs is one of the best perimeter defenders in all of the NBA. If they could have hit a couple of more threes, we're talking about a win tonight for them. They were 6 for 27 from 3 and still managed to only lose by 5 points. If it wasn't for them, and then Jalen Suggs had a good look that would have tied it late in the later seconds. He just didn't hit it. So I like what I'm seeing from the Orlando Magic, man. It's them in the East and the Houston Rockets in the West for me as those young teams that you got to look out for. If not this season, a couple of seasons, down the road. This team is fun to watch, but you're not going to overcome the type of night that Giannis had, 15 for 24. Dame Lillard was hitting his step back three. Whenever he got switched over onto Carter, it was over with. And Bobby Portis had a Bobby chant type of night. They was chanting Bobby tonight. So it's just what it is, man. It wasn't necessarily the better team that won, but tonight Milwaukee just had that extra to get them over the hump.
I mean, this game kind of went everything I thought, like exactly how I thought it would. I think like a couple key changes, like to me, if they was playing Anthony and Jalen together, that could have gave them the better chance. Because I ain't gonna lie, Anthony nice. Yeah, he turned into actually he gonna be. It's gonna be a tough conversation when it's time to who's gonna be the guard in that rotation. But like when it comes to them, I think that was something they could have did to get over the hump. Like you said, they did. Jalen did everything in his power to do it, and there's nothing. You can't take nothing from Orlando from it. But I think as of now, based on the injuries and everything, Milwaukee was the better team, and I knew. Just paying attention to what Milwaukee has been, they kind of turned it around somewhat. Dame is having a pretty good season from a Dame perspective. Giannis just basically put everybody on his back and saying, "I'm leading the charge," and that's kind of what happened today with a little bit, like you said, with a big game from Bobby Portis. So that's exactly just what happened. More experience, less injury riddled team won.
I mean, I think it also like the Milwaukee Bucks had their stars playing like stars in this game, whereas Orlando Magic, they were trying to do it, and a valiant effort to try to do it through the team. But that's why stars are stars. They separated themselves from the Magic in this game, and they pushed them to the victory. And that's just, I mean, sometimes you just can't overcome a lack of talent. And the Orlando Magic, I know this was a cup game. It doesn't, in the knockout round, so it doesn't count towards their actual record. But I will say this, like the Orlando Magic, I started off the season saying like, hey, they're a good team. They're going to win a lot of basketball games. But I tell you what, when Franz and Paolo come back, I can see this team coming out of the East this year. I can see this team coming out of this. The chips will have to fall where they may for them. They have to get some luck. But I went from thinking that this was just a team that was going to win a lot of regular season games and be competitive in the playoffs and maybe just be a year away. But with the way Suggs and Anthony Black are playing, and you got Batazde and stuff like this team could come out the East. They need a great stretch, but they can come out the East this year.
Yeah, I don't see them there yet, Haize. I do appreciate the take. It's not a super stretch. It's not a C-Dub type stretch. Let's say it like that.
It's definitely not a C-Dub.
Like, they're the favorite to come out the East right now. I'm not saying that. Hey,
Paolo will win league MVP.
But no, what I'm saying, the only reason why I'm saying that they're still like a year away, they kind of remind me of the way the Oklahoma City Thunder was playing last season. It's like, they good, but they're not good yet. I still feel like the Eastern Conference goes through the champions in Boston Celtics. And that's, until I see Boston show me that they're not good enough, or that they got injuries or whatever, then I can see another team. But then if it's not them, I got to still look at Cleveland in the way that they've been playing. I don't think Orlando's better than Cleveland. And if they see each other in the playoffs, that'll be a fun playoff series to watch. A super powerful offensive team versus a super really good defensive team. That'll be a pretty good barometer for where Orlando really is, truly is. So we'll see. But I can see where you're going though. I ain't gonna be mad. I'm not mad at the take. I just don't think that they're at that come out the East level yet.
They had to get hot. And I feel like they had the talent to get hot. Like they did this, like even tonight, they did this without Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac not even playing. So
yeah, it's crazy.
them getting back, and then they just get on the streak. It can happen, but like you said, I kind of feel like they're kind of in that tweener stage where they're good enough to make it, but they're a little too young, stupid enough to get there. That's just the reality of it. It kind of remind me, Franz and Paolo kind of remind me of young Tatum and young Brown. They was able to get close, but every single time they got there, as well as the team around them was young with them as well, they just fell short a couple times. And I think that's what's going to kind of happen with this Magic team. They're going to come close, they're going to fall short a couple times. Then that year, they just going to get it.
That's a fact. Well, let's do some predicting for tomorrow's games before we get up out of here. First up, the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks going down tomorrow in the knockout round game. Who you guys got coming out of this?
Where they playing? They playing in New York or they
in New York?
Look, it's something about Trae Young versus the Knicks, bro. That's become a sneaky little rivalry ever since he beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals that year. And I like it. I like it. I'm gonna go with Atlanta because it's something about that the Madison Square Garden. Trae is on a nice little stretch right now. Play offensively, especially offensively. My man is assist wise and points wise. He's doing his thing. He got Atlanta playing some pretty good basketball. I'm gonna pick Atlanta in tomorrow's game, but it should be a good one out in Madison Square Garden. I know Thibodeau got he got this one circled because for some reason Atlanta got the Knicks number.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a toss up because, like you said, like I was with Kev, like it's kind of like and Trae got their number, but at the same time, this ain't the same Knicks team. So it's also like Cat is the factor of it, and if you get one of them Cat games, it could just be a completely different game, and I don't think nobody defensively can hold Cat if he has one of those games. So. Yeah, I'm a lean towards New York just because it's not the same New York that he's been beating the last 2 to 3 years. So that's why I'm a lean with that.
Okay. He did just beat them a couple of weeks ago.
He did.
He did. I'm gonna go New York in this one. I think that it being in New York, but I mean Kev makes a great point. Trae does go off in New York as well.
I can see it now.
Yeah, I can see it, but I think Jalen Brunson is going to have a big game. I think that Tibbs is going to have them ready, and that big Cat game, I can see it happening in this one for sure.
You said hard in game time decision. Okay.
And Town.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's big there.
And he said Trey, Hunter, ooh, that's big. If all of those,
And
so I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say if that's that many, one of them ain't playing.
yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
For sure.
So one of them, but yeah, especially with that being said, I'm really leaning towards New York now.
All right. The Western Conference game tomorrow. Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. They are in Houston for this game.
I want to say Houston so bad, but Steph
Right?
gonna get their ass 40. Watch what
Listen,
I
like
tell you.
you about to have a motivated Steph Curry out there, and then but here's the thing about this Golden State team. If Curry is off just a little bit, bro, they need Kuminga to step up because they really, really relying on Kuminga now. Houston plays defense as well as Orlando does, bro, if not better.
And they
So
run.
yes, and they just keep sending young bull after young bull after young bull out there, bro, from the top to bottom in a rotation. I'm just gonna go with the young guys. I feel like they hungrier. They got people on their roster that need that $100,000+ they get for winning. I mean, that's a real factor in these play-in tournament games. This is extra money on top of whatever contract you got. And some of these guys ain't seeing these type of paychecks. At the bottom of the roster, everybody ain't making Fred VanVleet money or Dylan Brooks money on the Houston. And I think that money is a motivation for these guys. Curry done made a mint. He don't need the money. I'm going with the young guys. I think Houston is going to take this one tomorrow.
Hey, Draymond need that money for all them fucking tax he be getting.
That's
what he need. So everybody be a motivated faction for him. Like, I got some. Well, nah, we don't need him when it did because now he know he got a bag in just in case. So shit, he gonna be. Yeah, I got that shit. I pay for that shit with my cup money.
That's tech money.
In tomorrow's game, Jashawn Tate, Cam Whitmore, Alfred Sengun, and Steven Adams all listed as questionable.
Oh my God, bro.
Okay, well, damn. I don't know. I was still going with Golden State because like I said, it's TNT. Everybody gonna be watching, and Steph. It's the last game of the night, 8:30 prime time. Steph giving us 40.
It's gonna be fun to see.
I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna be a little shocking. Dylan Brooks in the cup play is averaging 19 points per game on almost 63% 3-point shooting. I think that Dylan Brooks is going to have a huge game against the Golden State Warriors. I could see him and Dre getting into it. And then you look at the defense also that Houston's able to play. I'm predicting the Houston Rockets to win this game.
Now he gonna get ejected.
Dylan is going to out Draymond in this game.
He gonna get ejected in the second quarter. Watch that you said that.
That's crazy.
That is hilarious. I can see that happening as well. But we'll probably be live again tomorrow night, especially if the games are as good as tonight's were. Because I tell you what, man, I was doubtful of this cup. They out there playing, man. They out there hooping.
So, that money, bro.
And these ain't little seed teams. I think that's another thing. Like that's what made me tune in. I'm like, these some actually high seeded teams. Like I think that was the difference between last year. There wasn't that many high seeded teams that made it through.
That's a fact. You know what? And I could see Stephen's not gonna get a title, but he could get an Emirates Cup this year. That could be what happens.
Hey, Bron got his
Cup MVP.
Any last thoughts, fellas, before we get up out of here, man?
Nah, man. Stay classy.
Y'all can follow us at NBA Central Pod.
We'll say that nigga. He look like classic man.
Shut up, nigga. NBA Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything basketball related. We out, y'all. Peace.
Hey, when Rob said Hartstown GTD,